All right. So everything meal prep, man. Let me tell you, this is coming from somebody who did not know how to cook. This is somebody who literally didn't know anything about macronutrients, who knew little to nothing, and now I'm just eating like the same things like every single day, and I'm fine with it because it tastes great. The food, I love the food that I eat. So obviously, I'm going to be talking a lot about I'm not going to be talking a lot about the foods to eat. Now, if you want to figure out the stuff that you like, then and try to customize this, then feel free to go to the video I made made all about nutrients and like the type of nutrients that you want to get and the right foods to eat and the wrong foods to eat. I made a video about it that goes really in depth about that kind of stuff. So, first of all, what does a good meal consist of? So a good meal, if you remember from that video I made with nutrition, consists of high protein, moderate fats, and moderate complex carbs. Now, I don't think I mentioned this in the in the video with the nutrition, but there's a difference, but there's two different types of carbs. There's simple carbs. Think of this as the cereal that you eat. Think of this as think of this as like the processed foods, the sugary foods. This is this is simple carbs. They're terrible for you, they're empty calories, and they don't offer you any sort of nutrients. Then you have the complex carbs. The complex carbs is the stuff like the fruits, the vegetables, the potatoes, like that kind of thing. It's the stuff that's actually going to be providing you nutrients. So, like, after you're done with the workout, this is going to be exceptional for replenishing your body. And then, so a lot of the times, they say how 99% of diets just fail. It's normally because it boils down to these four things right here. It boils down to I don't know how to season my food, I don't know how to cook, I don't have enough time to meal prep, and then it's too expensive. It's like looking like I used to use every single one of these excuses. Like, okay, for instance, I don't know how to season my food. Listen, my mom is an exceptional cook, and this goes with I don't know how to cook either. Is I didn't understand anything about seasoning food. I just thought it was just salt and pepper. But if you like salt and pepper, then go ahead, keep going for it. I'm not going to bash you for it because salt and pepper is a really good combination. But I used to like, okay, for instance, with my chicken, like I don't want to just eat my chicken with just salt and pepper. I want a little more seasoning than that. I would literally just watch my mom cook, see how my mom cooks it. Now, obviously, you want to kind of pick and choose like the stuff that they add to their chicken. Like, obviously, I'm not going to fry my chicken. But my mom's an exceptional cook, and so I literally would just sit down and watch her cook, and like she would show me like different ways of like how to cook things. Like I would be like, how would I cook chicken? How would I cook rice, beans? Like that kind of stuff. Because we're always so like caught up with like I don't know how to cook, dude. You probably have a family member who knows how to cook. Just watch them. It's not only a way for you to learn, but it's also a way for you to bond with your family. So another thing is if you don't have a family member or if you don't have a family member, relative, or like or like a friend who knows how to cook, who will show you how to cook, then simply just watch videos. Like, dude, we have the internet, and it's amazing. You can literally just look up full guides on how to actually cook your food. It's so much easier. So, but I would tell you that if you do have a family member or a friend who knows how to cook, watch them cook because a lot of the time there's like a gap between like you're seeing somebody cook these videos, but then they always skip ahead on like that one part that you see they skip ahead on that one part that like you're like, oh, I'm kind of confused about. So I would literally just if you have a family member or a friend who knows how to cook, just ask them to help you out because this is going to be so great and like actually instilling in you so you can actually watch somebody who knows how to do it. So another excuse that I see all the time, and I used to be exactly like this, is I don't have enough time to meal prep. Yes, you fucking do. I'm going to tell you here that this excuse that you have of I don't have enough time to meal prep is just bullshit. You do have enough time. Meal prepping, especially if you're actually meal prepping like for the days ahead instead of just today, you are going to have plenty of time. You have an hour of your time. We have 24 hours of the day. Let's say you let's say you work for 8 hours. You go to you sleep for 8 hours. You still have a good 8 hours of time you're just doing. If not time to just do anything that you normally spend on like leisure and like fun habits such as like playing video games or or watching the television or just doing something stupid or like laying in bed. Dude, you're if you really are trying to take this seriously of like your fitness, of losing weight or putting on weight, then you're gonna have to spend some time actually doing the stuff that is required of you. And meal prepping is one of the biggest things, bro. You're gonna have to start meal prepping. And goes along with it's too expensive because most of the time, like a lot of you guys, including myself, like this is how it used to be. We used to just eat a lot of fast food. And the problem with fast food is not only the fact that the food is bad for you, excuse me, but it's also the fact that you're only feeding yourself now. Like, do you guys understand the concept of a you guys understand the concept of a convenience tax? You're eating now. Like you may be thinking to yourself, like, oh well, I mean, two McDoubles is only like $2. Okay, but dude, you could buy a thing of chicken breast, cook it for the next 5 days, and not have to spend a damn thing in the next 5 days. I understand that chicken breast is quite expensive. If you want to get chicken thighs, to be honest with you, it's more inexpensive. It's not as expensive as chicken breast. But beef, like literally get like a pound of of ground beef. It's quite cheap. It's about $4 or $5. There's no excuse why it's too expensive. Like, dude, I'm a 17-year-old. I make $10 an hour at my job. I make at a part-time job. I don't have a lot of money. And but let me tell you that it's so much easier to just cook your food than you think it is. It's so much easier to buy the food. You just need to minimize this compulsive buying. And this goes into the next slide of the shiny object syndrome that so many people fall for. Is that you see all these influencers telling you, oh well, this I eat this in a day, and I eat this in a day. Oh, but I eat this, and it's great. The problem with this is that you're constantly changing yourself, and now you're being compulsive, and you keep switching between one thing and another. It's the reason why you're just staying in place. I talk about this all the time that you need to really try to find something, stick with it, and stop changing so much. Like obviously, when it comes to a diet, it's gonna take some time to figure out what you like, but there's gonna get to a point where you know what you like, so stop trying to constantly change it. That's the reason why it's so expensive because you keep on adding these things, these supplements, these foods that like I mean, let's be honest with you, bro. Like you don't really need them. Most of the time you can stick with just your bread and butter, the things that have been worked for so many other people. And then like I said, just stop having this idea that you have to constantly keep adding different things. Most of the time, to be honest with you, the perfect diet consists of you simplifying it to just a few things that you eat. I talk about this. Whole foods, just eating a few whole foods is literally one of the best things you can do. It's just making your diet consist of whole foods. Because I don't think I've ever seen somebody who has been on just simply whole foods, have only eat whole foods. We're talking like rice, chicken, we're talking fruits and vegetables, we're talking about some dairies. I don't think I've ever seen anybody who has just had a diet consisting of almost only whole foods who has been fat or unhealthy because it's not the case. That never happens. So right into it. So we're going to talk about actual like different times. Like we're going to assume that you're eating 3 times a day. Assuming that you're eating 3 times a day. Now, personally, I fast in the morning. That's why I put this down here. You don't have to eat in the morning. I most of the time I fast, but for the days I do eat something in the morning, it normally just consists of a few things. It normally just consists of eggs because I mean eggs is just the best way to start your morning off with, or it could be any other meat. Like it could be I mean if you want to get if you want to make chicken in the morning or you want to make steak or fish, it doesn't matter. Frankly, the reason why I say eggs is just because I mean a lot of people associate the morning time with eggs, and also eggs have zero carbs. Yes, I'm good. So obviously, eating eggs is wonderful for you. They're great because it's not only going to give you a good amount of protein, like one egg is 6 grams of protein, but it's also going to give you a bunch of micronutrients. It's going to be giving you literally everything you can think of, every single vitamin and mineral you can think of, except for vitamin C, really. Like everything else, your vitamin D, you're thinking about your vitamin A, your vitamin B, your B vitamins. It's going to be giving you so much. And it's also going to be at the same time giving you healthy fats. It's going to be giving you omega 3 fats. It's going to be giving you good cholesterol. It's a wonderful way to start. If you don't like eggs, like I said, you can substitute it with any meat really. Now, I say a fruit because sometimes I'll eat a fruit. It just depends. A fruit. See, a lot of the times, if I can move, I don't know if yeah, I'm gonna move this. So, a lot of the times, a lot of people's breakfast consists of a bowl of cereal, which a bowl of cereal is just not a good thing to do because you think to yourself, oh well, I mean, it has all these micronutrients, and carbs must be really good in the morning, and like the cereal, like the milk give me protein and stuff. Like no, it's not, because most of the time these cereals that you're eating these cereals that you're eating are going to have a lot of sugar, and they're also going to have a massive amount of carbs, which do not eat lots of carbs in the morning. It's really not good for you, because what this does is this is going to spike your insulin near the beginning of the day. So later on in the day, whenever there's that point where you crash, like in the middle of the day, like that, there's like that massive crash where like you start here, and then near the middle of the day, a few hours later in the day, you crash and you have this massive spike in energy where like all of a sudden you feel so tired all the time. It's going to be awful for you if you're trying to work out. I made this massive mistake. I used to eat eggs, a fruit, and then I ate like nuts, and then I ate cereal like in the morning. I ate all this food. And another thing is, don't eat lots of food in the morning to begin with, because you're going to feel bloated, and then the same thing's going to happen regardless if it's carbs or not. Since you ate too much in the morning, you're obviously going to be tired, because after you eat a big meal, you feel really tired. Your breakfast should really be something that's relatively light. Like for instance, like I said, it could literally just be like some eggs and then a fruit. Like that's it, really. Like you don't want your breakfast to consist of this massive variety of these different things, and you feel really stuffed afterwards. You don't want to do that. I don't care. I mean, if you're bulking, then I mean, sure, go for it. I'm bulking. I still fast in the morning, and I still try to really stay with like the same thing. Like for instance, if I'm eating in the morning, then I'm going to be eating just a bunch of eggs. I'll eat like 6, 7 eggs in the morning. You don't have to eat 6, 7 eggs. That's just what I personally do. And then I'll eat like a kiwi, but that's it. Like you should not be eating too much in the morning, because then the rest of your day you're just gonna feel like shit. So now, I know you talk about breakfast. Oh, excellent. Let's go back. Can I go back? Come on. If it'll let me go back. There we go. I'm sorry. So now we have the lunchtime. Now lunch is, you can make so many combinations. I don't know why. Just looking at this is making me happy. So lunchtime, really, like we're talking about meal prepping now. What you should start to try meal prep. So like let's say you get like those boxes, or like those little containers that people meal prep with, where it has like the lid, like the plastic container with the lid. So this is where you can start cooking if you want to take your notes. So you can have a high quality meat. You should be having a high quality meat. It can be like, because I know a lot of the times during lunchtime, that's normally when you're at work, that's normally when you're at school. Try to avoid eating out, because obviously this is the reason why you're fat. If you're eating out during lunchtime, like every single day, like obviously it's a no-brainer. And frankly, don't try to eat school lunch, because school lunch is trash. I mean, it's literally just that shit, you can leave it out for days and it'll look the exact same. There's so many preservatives, and it's hyper processed with like all these bioengineered ingredients. Just do not eat school lunch, obviously. And if you're at work, try not to eat out, because I know it may seem easy, but I mean, you're making this excuse that it's too expensive to cook or you don't have enough time. This is bullshit, like I said before. So high quality meats. So try to, if you have a container or you have a lunchbox or wherever you put your food in, you want to try and make a high quality meat. So like it could be beef, chicken, turkey, eggs, fish. It doesn't matter. Something that's high quality protein that will give you enough that will give you a high quality meat that will give you enough protein, So then you're gonna have a carb source with fiber. So this is gonna be like your maybe like bread, like whole grain bread, or it's gonna be your fruits. It might be rice, it may be potatoes, and then you're gonna want to have some good fats. So it could be peanut butter, it could be dark chocolate, it could be fish, or it could also just be nuts. So then we're gonna have also. I mean, technically you don't need it, but I mean, I would say have some for your calcium and for some vitamin D. Is eat cheese, yogurt, or like a protein shake for more protein. So, what are some meals that we can start to make? So, okay, personally, during lunchtime last year, I would eat literally like the exact same thing, like every single day. I would have like, so I put up this yogurt up here. I would get like the little containers of yogurt of like this Greek yogurt, and then I would put it in my lunchbox. I would get some tuna. I might throw in some crackers with there. Then I would get some nuts. I'd also put in like some sort of fruit in there. And sometimes I'd put like some chicken in there. It just depends. And like really that was my lunch. It was just like tuna, yogurt, fruit, like just the stuff that I put on here. Like it would just consist of like the same thing like every single day. This is the kind of thing you want to try to emulate is you want to try to eat mostly the same thing every day, but you want it to be in a way where like you actually like genuinely kind of enjoy eating it. Like I remember when I used to eat because now I have an empty block during my lunch block, so I normally just come home and I cook something. But at the time, like I would literally just eat like the same thing every single day. So obviously, I already talked about the high quality meats, how why it's important. Like I said, learning how to cook, it's not that hard. Learning how to season is even easier. So now we're going to talk about the carb source. So like I said, obviously you need carbs. This is the time where you're going to start to actually eat some carbs. By the way, lunchtime is going to be the time where you're actually going to start eating some carbs, because obviously your body is going to need carbs. I'm not telling you not to eat carbs. I'm telling you not to eat carbs in the morning because this will screw you over. So actually eating carbs during this time of the day, if you're going to be eating some, eat some fruit. Like this could be like a banana, it could be an orange, it could be a kiwi, an apple. I don't care. Have it be something that is most conducive to you, something that you can eat every single day. You could also have some rice in there. Like sometimes I would come to school, like I would make some chicken like from a couple days before, and then I would put like some rice in there, like with some beans. Like for instance, in this picture right here, I mean this isn't this isn't a picture of my food, but this is kind of similar. Like I would have like some chicken, I would have some rice in there, and I'd also have some beans in there too. Let me tell you, if you're not a fan of just like the chicken and rice thing matchup, bro, start adding some beans in there, bro. It's gonna change your game if you like beans. Let me tell you like let me tell you stuff like navy beans, butter beans, black eyed peas. It does not matter. Beans are going to level up your meal so much because it's not only going to give you these good carbs, these good fats, it's going to give you lots of nutrients. It's also going to give you lots of fiber, like a shit ton of fiber. It's going to give you protein too, but it's not complete protein. That's why I tell you like when it comes to getting like relying on your protein, try to get it from meats and like dairies because this is where you're going to get most of your complete protein, which is the stuff that's going to help you build muscle. So like I said, whatever you want. Like I said, it doesn't have to be like this full course meal. Like I said, that I would cook. I didn't have that every single time, but if you do, it's fine. Most of the time, I would just eat like tuna or like some sort of fish, or like maybe I'll have some chicken in there. But let me tell you one thing about tuna is that first of all, take some breath mints because bro, your breath is gonna be stank after eating any sort of fish. But another thing is whenever you're eating this, whenever you're eating tuna, like any fish in general, but mostly tuna, you need to be really cautious about how much you eat. Like I wouldn't tell you to eat tuna every single day just because of the mercury content that's inside of it. I would say really the most amount you should be eating is about 4 to 5 cans like a week, like no more than that. So, I mean, if you want to have like two in one day, like sure, but I would try to eat it every other day so you can actually you can actually manage it so you don't end up getting mercury poisoning and have like bloody shit. So we don't want that to happen. So, like I said, really just find some sort of high quality meat, find some fruit to put in there, put some rice, some potatoes in there, whatever you want for your carb source. Get some good fats. If you want some peanut butter or some dark chocolate or some fish, like if your fish can be both your good fats and your good and your high quality meats, and then your nuts could nuts is one of those things where I sometimes I'll eat it, sometimes I don't. I used to eat almonds. Like the best nuts that you're gonna be able to eat is probably gonna be like almonds. They're gonna be your cashews. They're gonna be your pistachios. These stuff are gonna give you like the good fats, while also giving you like good protein. But like I said, it's not complete protein. Don't be so obsessed with like these like vegan sources of protein because most of them aren't complete protein. So you're gonna have to eat them with some other source of veggies to be able to actually get the full effects of them. So eating nuts, like just get a handful of nuts, put in a bag, put in there, bro. It's gonna be great for getting your fiber. It's gonna be great for filling you up, for giving you energy for your workout. It's wonderful. And then dairy, like I said, eat some yogurt. Bring a protein shake with you if you want. Get some dairy. Just get some calcium. Get some nutrients in. So dinner time. So before hopefully beforehand, I don't know if you're what time you're working out, but if you're working between normally like I work out before lunchtime or I work out after lunchtime. So normally you want to try to get most of your protein in whatever time. Like okay, let's say you work out before lunchtime. You're going to want to eat a lot of your protein after lunchtime. So you're going to be a lot of your protein at lunchtime, I should say, because you're trying to replenish your body. So let's go back. So dinner, but let's say you work out and then you come home and you come eat dinner. Then this is where you're gonna want to put a lot of your protein at, and this is the meal where it's like you can you can feast. You can feast in this meal. Like this is the meal where you're going to devour food. There's this in Colombia, the country of Colombia. They believe in they have this saying. I might be butchering it, but they have this saying where it's like, in the morning eat like a prince, and then in the evening eat like a queen, and then in the night it says like eat like a king. So like eat like a prince, eat like a queen, eat like a king. So during the if you notice like during the morning time, don't eat too much. Lunchtime, start to eat more, and then at the dinner time, this is where you actually get a lot of your food at because you don't have to worry about getting tired after eating because I mean it's dinner time. You're going to be going to sleep in a few hours and you're going to be getting a lot of this nutrients that your body needs. So you're going to notice this is layout's going to look very similar to how the lunch layout looks, like really similar. So it's going to be again your high quality meat. So it can be your fish, your eggs, your chicken. It does not matter. Whatever you love the most, try to eat it. So then you're gonna have normally like to be honest, dinner time, like rice is just like one of the best things you can eat. Rice or potatoes or some high quality carbs. It could be sweet potatoes, I don't care. Eat some high quality like, grain or eat some high quality veggie at this time. I will also tell you that like if you're gonna eat potatoes, for instance, like one of my favorite meals to make is I will cook like some chicken and then like or chicken or like maybe some steak and then on the side I'll eat like some potatoes that I roasted or like I cooked in a skillet, and then I'll put some cheese in there, and it's just such a good. It's so good. It's so good. I love cooking these foods, man. So your cheese is gonna give you lots of. Your cheese is gonna give you good amount of fats and proteins, and then obviously the rice and the potatoes and the high quality carb source is gonna be able to replenish your body. And then also, if you want, like depending on what you cook with, you could also cook with olive oil, like for instance with the potatoes to give it more fats. Or if you're eating fish, then you're getting good sources from there. The main takeaway is to try to really eat a lot of protein at this point. I will tell you, there's also this whole thing. Okay, by the way, first of all, little to no sugar. I mean, you shouldn't be eating too much sugar to begin with, but try not to eat too much sugar at dinner time and breakfast time. Obviously, don't eat a lot of sugar in general because obviously before you're trying to go to bed, eating a lot of this sugar, which by the way, you should be eating that your dinner should not be it should not be any closer than 3 hours to your bed. So like let's say you go to bed at 10 o'clock, you should eat your dinner at 7 o'clock. It should not be any later than that. Point is, try not to eat too much sugar because eating too much sugar close to your bedtime is going to really disrupt your sleep, and it's going to also it's also going to really bring down the levels of HGH, growth hormone, that's going to be released during your sleep. So really you're not going to be able to recover your muscles properly if you're just going to bed with all this sugar in your system, because like I said, sugar a lot of this sugar is not going to be great for you. It's not. Now, obviously, there's exceptions. Obviously, you can eat fruits, but try not to eat too much fruits because obviously this is still it's going to have the same effect. But a lot of fruits is going to give you a lot better, like the good sugars that you need. But try to eat little to no sugar at this time. Like, don't eat your Debbie cakes, or don't be like Alex Hormozy, who like near the end of his day he'll just eat like he'll just eat ice cream. Like, we're not trying to do that. We're trying to get good sleep, and we're trying to make growth, make gains. So, like I said, what I normally cook at this time, I'll normally eat like some potatoes. I'll eat some steak maybe if I have it, or I'll just eat like chicken or ground beef with some rice. Maybe throw some beans in there. Like I try to eat like a king almost, like eat a complete meal that actually fuels me. Because like I said before, the food that you're eating is fuel. It is not pleasure. That's not what you're trying to do. You're not trying to eat the foods that make you feel really good and stuff. Obviously, once you get to a certain point that you actually find the foods that are good for you, that you actually like, it's gonna be great because you can't wait to look at your foods. Like, dude, looking at these pictures is making me damn hungry, bro. Like looking at these pictures of salmon and this rice and stuff it's so good, bro. And by the way, I also want to talk about with rice. People always talk about like what's the best rice to eat. Some people eat white rice, some people eat brown rice, some people eat yellow rice. It does not matter. Just try not to eat like really processed rice, like 1 minute rice. Like they're great, they're convenient, but they're also a lot of preservatives and they're quite processed. Try to get a rice cooker and then cook them inside there. Let me tell you, my family we normally eat yellow rice, and yellow rice is delicious. There's also white rice and brown rice, which they don't really have too much flavor, but you can add your own seasoning to it. Or if you don't want to add seasoning, literally throw some beans in there. Like I said, it's wonderful. It tastes amazing. But really, that's about it when it comes to it. So obviously, like I said, when it comes to breakfast, don't eat a lot of carbs. Like try to make it relatively light. Get some protein in. When it comes to, and you can fast if you want. Don't and during lunchtime, like this is where you can start eating more carbs. This is where you get like a lot of your nutrients in. And then, like obviously, during dinner time, this is where you can start eating more of your proteins, more of your carbs, more of your fats, eating a lot of these good nutrients last meal before you go to bed. Now, I will tell you, like you're probably gonna ask, like, what about snacking? Some people snacking is big. Some people snacking no. I will tell you that normally I'll probably have like a shake or like a protein bar or like a piece of cheese, like something in between, like just because, like because I really doubt that you're going to be eating all three of these meals unless you just are eating these meals at like the perfect time. I really doubt that you're going to be full for the entire time. You might want like a little snack or like a craving. Try not to turn towards eating like a Debbie cake. I mean, obviously, don't turn to eating a Debbie cake. Try to have like just healthier things. It could be a protein bar. It might be a fruit. Like just if you want to eat something small, don't let it be too big to a point where it's just another meal. Because if you're trying to lose weight, you don't want this to happen. Obviously, if you're bulking like how I'm doing, then that's fine. You can eat a little bit more calories, but really try to make a snack just a snack and not another meal. Anyway, that's all I have for you boys.